That's your t-shirt. You want to be Battletech Authors?
No guidance whatsoever. Just be less badass.
Yeah, write bestsellers. No, less. Write bestsellers. Yeah.
We do not have a toxic work environment here on Newsday and Catalyst Game Labs.
I gave you the guidance.
We are live.
No work is getting done.
Hello, everyone. Sorry for the technical difficulties on there. I apparently need to push go live twice in 2 different places in order to do that. So we did a round of introductions, and then I was like, great, you all had your time to fuck it up. Let's do it again.
We have some less.
It's not going to help.
Let me know if audio is okay. But let's kick those intros back off here. So,
right this time, Young.
I'm Brian Young. I'm an author in Battletech and have done some work in Shadowrun. And a new book in the Battletech universe coming out May 15th called Without a Question. It's the sequel to Question of Survival. And early next year I'll have Void Breaker, which is the Tucker Harwell novel that's been teased. And there's some other stuff. Maybe you can talk about it if you can.
Yeah, as I repeat myself from take 1, we're here to talk about Kerenskykon and tell you guys what Kerenskykon is that we were at this weekend, and talk about AdeptiCon coming up. And if we have time, we'll do fiction. If not, we can always have the crew back on another time to do fiction. And I liked my joke from last time, so sorry, who are you?
I'm Michael Stackpole. I'm soon to be Leviathans. That's it. Really kind of hopeful and just being here with all these guys.
Well, you know, I've heard that if you take good editorial notes and you're a pleasure to work with, maybe you can move up.
And suck less.
Yeah, you suck less.
It's a trial.
Audio is clipping a little bit, so let's see if I can do some fixing. I'm going to just turn this and see if it makes it a little bit better. Because I actually, you know what? I'd rather have face you, and if I'm the quiet one, fine. I can talk louder. It's fine if I talk louder. So let's see if that makes it better. Michael, anything you want to talk about before we move on to John?
He's the editor, so he tells me. I would be nothing without my editors. This time.
Yeah, it's like you're checking the mail.
Okay.
But remember, I don't understand when you don't have older reasons at least 5 people calling.
Yep.
My name is John Melvers. I'm the executive editor of the Kerensky Kon Catalyst. I'm responsible for running several hundreds of chats and getting out fiction in Battletech, Shadowrun, Leviathans, and anything else they throw at me. Recently, I've had the pleasure of doing special projects like The Art of War, annotated and edited by J.D. Ball, which was The Delight and the Art of Food, edited by Kerenskykon. I butchered his name. That will be a lot of fun. Those will be forthcoming. They are being printed now. I think the announcement's gone out that they will not be with the initial shipments for Battletech, the mercenaries, but they will be sent as a separate shipment because they're flat and they can be easily mailed. So that's me. On to you, sir.
Just adjusted audio, so guys, let me know if that's a little bit better.
Okay. So many of you will not know who I am because I am a buffoon on the internet, but I am Big Red 40 Tech. I make videos about the Battletech universe independently. I'm currently working on the Atlas 2 video. I'm also doing a book review for the Battletech universe book that will be coming out in several months. And on top of all of that, I also am working on a gunslinger video too. Ooh. So that is what I am up to at the moment, and that is who I am. Which is very disappointing, I'm sure, but all the same, it's very good to have everyone here.
I mean, we were all thinking it. It's just
I know. Like, I just vocalize what I know everyone else is thinking. That's all.
Constantly.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Ciravella. I'm also honored to be a Battletech author. Currently, I am wrapping up on my most recent book, Trial of Birthright, which will be out in July, and the recently announced Art of Art, a new book that no one has heard of, but it just goes well with our theme.
Cute.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys for being here. Quickly, I've got a couple of announcements for y'all before we get into our talk.
Currently, I am wrapping up on my most recent book,
That was
You're coming through clear.
Melodious.
Yeah, coming
quite.
through well there. All right, so first of all, wanted to talk here about the Battletech Encounters situation from this week. So if you haven't seen the Kickstarter update, basically what happened is our distributor is always pitching games and stuff to Barnes & Noble. They're the only distributor that has a relationship with Barnes & Noble. And so somehow the Battletech Encounters game, that is a stretch goal that was reached at $1 million for the Mercenaries Kickstarter, got pitched to Barnes & Noble. Cool thing is that they loved it and said, yes, gimme. And then our distributor said, okay, and never told us. So we got a screenshot from Battletech Encounters being out in the wild at a Barnes & Noble store. And so we scrambled to kind of try to figure out what was going on and communicated that we're frustrated. We wish this could have happened differently. But we are our plan for right now is we are still not going to release. We're still going to honor our commitment to release after the Kickstarter has been fulfilled. But once something's out in the wild, it's really hard to pull it back. And the fact that it's in Barnes & Noble is super good for the game and the line and the future of Battletech. This is a standalone push your luck dice and card game that could be an intro or an entryway into Battletech for a lot of players. And so we do think that that reach is important and valuable. Not to mention the fact that we pretty much can't pull it back. So we're trying to look at positives. But that's the situation if you have missed the Kickstarter update. You can go to the Kickstarter. The updates are public, so you can see it there if you'd like to read more. No news on Shadowrun, Leviathans, or role-playing games this week. But Fandooble launches tomorrow. And that is our board game. It is a dragon dungeon crawling, push your luck dice game where you're collecting treasure and trying to move it into your vault, but your friends can steal it, dragons can steal it. You have a wizard, a knight, and Fandooble himself that can steal treasure or help fight off the dragons. So it's a lot of fun. It's a very shiny game with all of the treasure. So it did very well when we were at Gamma. Really recommend that, and that link will be up tomorrow. John.
Actually, I have a bit of Leviathan news if you don't mind.
Oh, please.
For the folks who are with the Kickstarter, as you know, towards the end we unlocked the writing. Bill Keith coming back to write an entire trilogy of Leviathan novels, which he's very excited about. And I'm pleased to report he has turned in his first draft of book 1. So very excited about that news. Michael Stackpole, as he said earlier, he's also written in the Leviathans universe, and depending on how I find his deathless prose, we'll see if he'll continue writing in the universe. Assuming he likes that, which I hope he does.
Oh yeah.
I really set that character up to continue.
Yeah.
So
Okay, fantastic. And let's see. And then, of course, Michael Ciravella, who's also got a standalone novel that is in the works that we're discussing, but we're currently beating on trial by birthright. And so, yes, I just thought I'd give that little update.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
It's Leviathan's backers.
Mm.
Now, in terms of fiction, we do have Shrapnel Issue 16 is now available.
Literally just dropped on the 15th, yes. And
Yes.
the POD should be live, so those who like your paper copies, order away, and it'll be there in 10 to 12 days.
Cool.
Yeah, I should have had Phil up here, but we've already got plenty. Yes, 15, what I know of it, 16, excuse me, yes. 16 was supposed to be a themed issue, but there were incidents we had to kind of switch them around. Our writers and our illustrators all came through fantastically. This does have the wrap-up of...
Lone Wolf and Fox,
Thank
the Fox Patrol serial novel, completed
Yes.
its four episode run
Mhm.
with this issue, and I hope
And great cover art as well.
Yeah, no, the cover was gorgeous. It's got Archie and Evan in their quick draw and their
Locust.
Yeah, and their Locust
Yeah.
on the cover, and it looks amazing.
It has been a great story to read. I was so thrilled at the end of it, wrapped up better than I could have hoped, and sending him off on new adventures. So yes, but there's plenty of other good fiction, game stuff in there. Illustrations, it's been great, and we're hard at work on the next one. So yeah, but that one is live, both in ebook and POD across all the major vendors right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty excited to chat with you guys about what we've been doing,
Yes.
what has gathered us all here through this weekend. John, I think you've been here probably the longest in terms of Kerenskykon. What is it? How did it start?
So I'm glad you asked, Ron. Kerenskykon is kind of a private event for our higher level backers that we all get together in a suitable location in a hotel, and we spend the entire weekend obviously playing BattleTech is one of the big things. But we also unlock some secret things for people to look at, which I'm forbidden to talk about right now. And they get one-on-one time with developers and designers and writers like
Mhm.
Mr. Stackpole and Mr. Young here, and it's just a great time for those who I will admit have the resources to do so. It's a great time for them to kind of get more deeply immersed in the game and also kind of behind the scenes game. So I guess I should mention Mr. Steele as an author too. So,
Just the fifth wheel, the literal.
but and it's great for us to do kind of fan outreach as well to talk to these folks. I don't have you talked about the art prints? Has that been a thing?
Not yet, but
Okay, like for example,
let's wait until the AdeptiCon.
Yeah, good point. Good
Yeah.
point. But they can get some. I will say they get access to certain things that maybe before they're released to the general public. I think that's fair. But it's time to interact and find out what they love about this property that's been going on. This universe has been going on for 40 years, which still stuns me every time I think about it. That this is the 40th anniversary of BattleTech is amazing, and a lot of our fans say I was playing in high school, I was playing in college. I think this 25 years ago, and they're still going strong.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and these are great. We love doing these. We love putting them on. We love seeing and sitting down and playing with some of the folks who've been playing for decades.
How does one get an invitation to Kerenskykon?
Well, the only way that I'm aware that they're available is through our Kickstarters. So, the next Kickstarter, we're going to open it up again because it's been so popular. We can't not do it. And
Yeah.
this time we doubled, I think, our Kerenskys, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure what it was.
First time was 20. I think this time we're over 40.
It's
We're
close
nearly
to
triple.
60.
Close
Nearly
to
triple.
triple because of our boss opening up in the last 10 minutes. Close to 60. Point is, as long as the folks out there want to come do this and during our campaigns, then it's available. You do have to jump on it fast.
Yeah,
Because they
sell
go
out.
extremely quickly.
Yeah.
So, but I know that Randall and her folks did a great job of pre-pub on Mercenaries, right? Did you do that? Yeah.
What's pre-pub?
Getting the word out about Mercenaries and what we had and all that. Weren't you involved in?
I was hired 2 weeks before the Mercenaries Kickstarter.
You did a great job of pre-publicity the 2 weeks before the Kickstarter.
Did what I could.
But I will say,
Double.
we kind of right. We did have the word out, and we did have so people knew what the levels were going to be. You can plan for it. Is the point? We
Yeah.
From the first one we realized we have to get the word out so people know what they're going to get relatively early.
Well, it was my company that was managing the campaign, so we were like,
Yes.
we're sold out. We're
Yes.
sold out. We're sold out.
Yep.
So being able to kind of keep a pulse on where things were and who wanted more, and
Agreed.
if we thought we could get there or not, and there's a balance between trying to accommodate we call them big kappas for this time, the reward tier, and so the benefits that you get is you get an invitation to Kerenskykon and you get free product for 2 years.
Yeah.
So every new release, you get 2 times every new release for 2 years.
Right.
So like the new 40th anniversary covers we've been talking about and stuff like that, they're just going to get 2 copies of Beginner Box and Game of Armor Combat, for example.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is far exceeds the value of the initial buy-in. We did the math. So yeah,
Awesome.
exactly.
Now, I do want to do a special thank you as well to Michael Sierravella, who is not only a wonderful Battletech author, but our hotel czar, who we all worship and plans all the hotels for all of our events and scheduled the events. We got demo agents to come do it for the first time and run events. We had grinders going, we had scenarios going. The demo agents did a phenomenal job. And thank you for making this happen, because
Yes.
it wouldn't have without you. So.
Thank you, Red.
This is so true. So true.
Yeah. All right. So, gosh, in terms of Kerenskykon, I kind of want to hear from each of you in terms of, was this your first time attending as a guest? These are all developers or special guests. And what makes Kerenskykon special? Like, what is your favorite part about it? So let's start with Brian, if that's okay.
Yeah, this was my first Kerenskykon, and I wasn't quite sure what to expect. I've never actually been to something that feels like a convention with all of that energy of like a convention, but at such an intimate scale. And so getting to play games with the the folks that came out to do that, as well as all of these folks, was a lot of fun. And getting to talk to people about what we do and seeing all of the product. Being one of the writers, we don't always get to look at the physical products before they come out either. And so I was really excited to go to the table and look at all the stuff too, because there was stuff I worked on that I hadn't seen yet.
We had the production samples that get shipped to Randall that you guys see show up on his Facebook and Instagram. He brought everything. So we got to see everything that's been sent from Mercenaries. All the dice, all the patches, pins.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing, but it felt really really special across the board. It was really it was a really great experience, at least as far as I was concerned.
Cool.
Um, I was at the first Kerensky Kon and now at this one, and both times the feel was a lot of excitement. It was also just everybody was there enjoying themselves. The normal convention experience when you're at a big convention is the vast majority of people are there enjoying themselves, but there are going to be one or two people that are just having a bad day.
Yeah.
And at Kerensky Kon, nobody has a bad day. I mean, point of fact, yesterday we had for Randall's birthday, we had a massive game, 28 people are around the table, and as is invariably going to happen, certain people get shot out early, and nobody was angry. It was just
Shamefully shot out early. Shamefully shot out. It was hilarious being shot out early.
I was not judging or pointing fingers. So
my fellow teammates were like, "But how?" I'm like, "Just don't worry about it."
And I think the other thing which was really, really cool is that while there were all the official events, one of the things that happened at this hotel would be every morning in the dining room there was a big table, and Kerensky Kon attendees would just be there, and we'd just be having conventions early in the morning, late at night, conversations, just talking about all sorts of things with them, asking questions about writing or what were you thinking when you did this. So it really was it was an access experience that goes beyond the usual sort of access.
Yeah, where usually at a con you might be like, oh well, Michael Stackpole's going to be at the booth from 1 to 2 p.m. for signatures, and then he's running away. But
Right.
you're there all the time, and it's.
I don't run anywhere.
But being able to share meals and yes, we've got the play sessions and we've got the seminars where we're talking about releases, but there was plenty of time too where it was just hang out and talk, whether it's to each other, whether it's to us. That was really neat. I agree. John?
I'm going to actually pass it on to Big Red because I'm going to come in last, but I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on it.
I mean, I've had a fantastic time being here as a whole. I didn't really know what to expect coming here. I was very nervous even because I don't normally meet large groups of people face to face and doing what I do at this time. It had been a while since I'd been to a trade show or anything like that, as I've been doing before. But because again, I knew it was an event with a much smaller group, I was just like, what am I going to expect? I got to meet an enormous number of extremely passionate and extremely friendly people. I had incredible conversations with the big kappas. I got to talk to them about just BattleTech in general. I got to talk with a bit about my videos with several people, or more than several, like a dozen people. We got a great chance to talk about those things. I like the products and things like that. Seeing them in person was fascinating to see, especially like the Legends 2 book, because like that's something that I just had really no idea what to expect with it. But for me, the biggest thing is like whether it be the developers who I met and talked with in person for the first time, whether it be the kappas I spoke with, I came away from all of that with the sensation that I had met people who I consider friends. Who had been extremely welcoming to me and who had been extremely kind to me, and were just in general incredibly interesting people across the board, whether regardless, like people had stories of their time with BattleTech. People had memories of their best moments and the excitement that they had at various announcements, or even the moment when Randall actually got here, because Randall ran a day behind, hilariously speaking, despite the tragedy of like why he was late. But when he got here, just the amount of energy like that erupted out of the room was absolutely fascinating and joyful. But yeah, like I got to meet a bunch of people who I literally never thought I would meet in person, and I got to meet a bunch of people who I think were incredible people as a whole. So I had a blast.
Awesome. Yeah, one thing that, in terms of that energy and that passion, like for Randall's birthday, we were like, should we go out to dinner? Like, there's places nearby. And really, what we kind of realized is that Randall just wanted to have the catered dinner at the hotel and talk Battletech with Uber fans of Battletech just like him.
I also had the opportunity to subtly joke to Randall the entire time about Clan Novacat being dead, which was amazing.
Well, I heard the Battletech game he played was all the victory conditions were get Randall.
Yeah, well, oh yeah, and he
Yeah.
died. I might have died early, but he did die eventually.
Yeah, so let's explain a little bit. So I had actually talked to the demo team, and I didn't even know if this would be possible. But I asked them to create a scenario where it was, I called it "Oh Captain, My Captain," and I wanted it to be the Kappas versus Catalyst. Catalyst's goal is to protect Randall, and the win condition is the first to kill Randall wins. So it's 28
So we
people at the
turned them.
table. There's pictures of the map. The terrain was beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
So amazing.
And just the enthusiasm and passion of everyone, like rolling initiative. We won like maybe a third of the time because it's Randall rolling, and but like the entire energy of the event was wild. And
But it was
It
also
was.
really important. Everybody there is passionate about the game. They know what they're doing. We cruised through that game. 28 people. We cruised through that game in 4.5 hours.
Yep.
So,
Wow,
oh
that's
yeah,
impressive.
oh
it
yeah,
was 6 rounds.
yep.
Yeah,
Wow.
awesome.
One of the I had the benefit of being at Kerenskykon too, and at this Kerenskykon, and I agree with everything that's been said before. One of my favorite parts, however, is the reality that Catalyst never stops working. So while you're at Kerenskykon, you're here with the developers. You're seeing and hearing about what's going on. I remember from Kerenskykon too, we actually had a wonderful moment where I was pitching one of our upcoming novels, and it was just me and Ray Arostia, the line developer, and then Lauren Coleman sits down, and Randall sits down, and John sits down, and everybody else is kind of crowded around to listen, and we're hashing out all of this. So you're hearing things right as things are getting on the cutting room floor. It's a beautiful opportunity. The same theory when you're here with us, when you're talking to these wonderful people, they're thinking of, hey, this is our new project right there. And occasionally they'll let those fun moments slip so you can be part of the universe from the very beginning, which is a major selling point for Battletech over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. Those were really great answers, folks. Thanks very much. I mean, I don't have too much to add, but this is also an opportunity for us on the other side of the Catalyst team. Last night, I sat down to dinner with a half a dozen of the folks that I'd interacted with briefly throughout, and then I realized, like, John, you have kind of a little bit of a focus team here. So I started asking them, what do they like about fiction, and when do they start reading? What do they enjoy about fiction? What was their favorite book? And because that's valuable for me to know. And crafting the stories in the universe, it's not going to be slavish fan fiction, mind you, or fan service, but it's good to know like what resonates with them, what themes, what aspects of it, and of course, characters was far and away the number one answer. And why because that's what we try to put out is character driven. Yes, they're big stumpy mech stories, but we put out character driven stories. Without characters you care about, those stories are not going to resonate.
Mhm.
I know it's great sitting down with them for a good half hour, 45 minutes, and just ask them questions about what should we be looking for, what do you want to see upcoming. So it's a great time to get together, play games, have fun, but we're also soliciting your feedback for the Kerenskys and the Kappas, and that's invaluable for us as the company. So yeah, I also had a blast. Looking forward to more of these. It's been great fun.
Yeah. It was a wild ride. My answer, I think, is it's the passion. Sitting down, playing a grinder with these Uber fans that love this game so much, were very welcoming and still willing to teach because it's been 4 months since I played, so it's the refresher, and they have all of their own supplies already, and gator sheets and everything else that comes with it, and it's just a blast to sit down and play. As soon as BattleTech Encounters was released, or we told them the news, a group of them went to Barnes and Noble and got copies, and then came back and played. So we got to play BattleTech Encounters. So it was fun to do that together.
If I'm not mistaken, you also won that game.
I kicked Brent's ass.
Yes. I just want to make that very clear so that if he ever watches this, that he is aware that it is public knowledge that he lost BattleTech Encounters to Rem Alternis.
But it really did feel like a class reunion or a summer camp. It's the BattleTech weekend summer camp,
it was.
and
Absolutely.
and that was just a lot of fun.
I think beating Brent was like a really high goal for a lot of people. I felt very satisfied taking him out in the grinder, which was a lot of fun. I think
and a big part of it is taking on these titans of BattleTech.
Yeah.
Come to Kerenskykon and destroy Brent.
Well,
That's the biggest sell to this event.
Yeah.
Come here and destroy Brent.
well, it's a BattleTech, sure, but we all remember where we were when we took down Brent at one point.
And the funny part is, Brent's such a good sport. He'll be having just as much fun beside you
Yeah.
because he loves that kind of. He will play to win. Make no mistake about it. But if you best him, he'll be the first to shake your hand. It's really incredible.
I had the sort of the opposite experience, only in that in the big game with Randall. The first time I went and shot at somebody, I heard guys in the other team going, "That's Mike Stackpole is shooting at you! Oh my God, Mike Stackpole is shooting at you!" And after that, one guy shot at me once, didn't hit anything, and everyone left me alone.
And worse yet, he's in a direwolf.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
not like a small mech. He's in a 100-ton clan assault mech, and people are just let him do it.
Yeah,
It's fine. Don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
Plot armor is real.
in fairness, the objective was Randall, not
that's true. Yeah.
There should have been a bonus points for Randall
Yeah.
and Stackpole.
Yeah,
Because, come
yeah.
on, that should have been a target
To
opportunity.
share with our audience, in a typical Randall faction, technically no one killed Randall. Someone shot him, there was a crit, his gyro exploded, and then he fell down, broke his neck, and died.
So
That's
only
totally him.
only Randall beats Randall.
everyone else.
Nice.
Everyone else beats Brent, but only
The point out of breaking his neck is a total Bill's move. Yeah, absolutely.
That's still very lucky, though. If someone else had taken it out, who knows what clan would be killed off next?
Yeah, that's fair. Very fair.
There was even a player that there was the duel that happened.
oh yeah, they challenged him to a trial
Oh, yes.
by Zelbriggan rules.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
and Randall won, but in the same round, someone else shot at Randall, which breaks the
Yep,
rules.
free for all.
So
Yep.
Talon put a bounty of 2 free salvage boxes
Oh.
on that Kappa that the first person to shoot him in the back got the salvage boxes.
And he ended up winning the salvage boxes himself because everyone was so focused on Randall they ignored that dishonor.
I would have loved to shoot.
It's shameful display. Shameful display. When you break the circle of equals, it's wrong. It's wrong.
Oh, I think I'm the only one who shot him after that. I didn't get any boxes.
Yeah.
And
So yes, it's a tremendous amount of fun at these things. If you, and I'm not just saying this as a member of the company, I think if you're one of those fans, it's worth trying to figure out a way to get out here because it's so worth it. It's an experience I think any fan would treasure for a lifetime.
But
Really.
we've all been to a lot of conventions, and the quality of this experience is just is so much higher than it is just because there's less chaos, there's organization, and you're with a whole bunch of like-minded individuals.
I have to bring up because we haven't mentioned him until right now. We brought out Jordan Weiss
yeah,
for an
Jordan,
afternoon.
yeah.
The creator sat down for a wonderful 2-hour panel where people could ask him questions about the creation and what he's done, and it was terrific.
Yeah,
You just don't get that time. It was literally guys whatever they wanted to, and the questions were fantastic.
Yep.
So yeah,
You say terrific. Well, I was terrified the entire time. You know, like
Jordan is he's so approachable.
yeah,
He's just
absolutely incredible
Also,
experience.
I think he's also impressed and surprised by the longevity of this too, and just to see people enjoying it and come up and telling him their stories and showed him the cookbook, which he was over the moon about.
Yep.
I don't think just anyone ever expected. This was supposed to be a one-off.
Yeah.
A one-off box, they move on to the next game. 40 years later, we're still here. This universe has expanded beyond anything anyone could ever imagine. And it's just incredible what he started. And I have to give him props for it. Yeah.
Well, I need to shift us over to Adepticon planning. So, what is on the docket for Adepticon? Michael, I'm going to start with you because I had you take over streaming, and I want to hear about the events plans.
Yes, indeed. Well, we're doing a whole new series of brand new types of streams for Adepticon. We're going to have some of the most eminent names in Battletech giving us in the beginning, telling us a little bit, which we also did for the purposes of Kerensky Kon, to hear a little bit how things started up and the fun and interesting ways that Battletech has come over through the years to where it is right now, as well as focusing on some of the initial stories that have brought us into the universe and where we can really enjoy things. Also, we're moving kind of away from some of our one-on-one interviews, which are lovely, to a series of fireside chats. We don't have a fireplace, and we're not going to set anything on fire, more than likely. At
Have
Adepticon,
you met us?
yes.
So, Sam,
No
I
problem.
don't know if you're noticing who's coming with you, but arson is not off the menu.
Very. But it's slightly more casual setup.
Arson's not off.
Check it out.
Ready, fire, aim. Yes.
Let's some judicious editing on this. Wait, we're live. Let's do it.
But we're going to be doing a series of fireside chats to be able to speak with some of the designers on a more casual level, to hear what they've been working on and their thought process right at this very moment. Sometimes the interviews themselves can be very regimented and good and wonderful, but the beauty that we've seen through Kerenskykon and Adepticon is things are ever changing. Every moment we're here, we're getting new ideas, new plans, and we can get that up to the moment there. So but the one other thing that's going to be very, very special, we are working on, and we are hoping to see as part of our live gaming that we'll be showing, one of the first continuous scenarios, 4 scenarios done at the same time each day, that will all connect together to show off some of our upcoming plans for the purposes of connected scenarios. And I won't use the magic term that makes everybody get really, really nervous right there, but connected scenarios that people can play in a coherent fashion. Read into that what you will.
It'll be a wonderful thing.
Oh no!
Okay, somebody's got to explain that for them.
No. That's the next fight. They'll come back later.
And that would be a wonderful thing.
That would be one.
Come back next time and we'll tell you more stories from Kerenskykon. So thank you for that, Michael. Now, Big Red, this is your first Adepticon.
Yes, I've never been to an Adepticon before.
What do you expect? What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to just being able to view the entirety of the event. I really want to see what people are playing, for various systems. More particularly, of course, I'm interested in seeing what's going to be happening with Catalyst there. But I'm looking forward just to see what it's all about. I've not been to Adepticon before. I've not been to a major gaming convention in 16 or 17 years, and they were much smaller in the ones that I went to. So this is the largest and most sophisticated gaming convention I've ever been to. So
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to the experience.
Cool.
Excellent.
John, what do you have planned for this Adepticon?
Well, lots of books. Of course, it is our 40th anniversary for Battletech. I'd be remiss if we didn't announce. Just keep enjoying that. I'm going to say enjoying that, and I'm harping on it. Again, 40 years is incredible for any game across any field. Yes, we will have, of course, our typical special Adepticon hallway booth that we lucked into for the very first time and have clung to, and we've told the Adepticon board they have to pry it out of our cold dead hands, because literally you cannot come into Adepticon without seeing us. It's impossible. and we are in the process of getting ready to set up, and we're going to head over there and start setting it up today. And we're very excited about that. Of course, we're going to have tons of product, some new stuff. I think, unfortunately, I'm not the person to talk about the game side. I can talk about the book side. I will have Herb's Quest for Jardine, the Jardine Omnibus. We have Jason Schmetzer's Grey Death Rising, the 2.0 Grey Death Legion 2.0 stories in book format, and of course, classics. Brian Young, Michael Ciravella, Michael Stackpole, and Randall will be there for signings. I have lots of books from certain people, and they got to go, folks. So I will tell you on this stream, if you're thinking about coming and picking up stuff, we are running the AdeptiCon sale, the convention sale, where you buy 2 fiction books only. You will get a third one for free. There is no limit on that, and it will be the lowest book you buy will be free. But there's no limit. Every 3 books you buy, one of them is always going to be 0 cost. So yeah, we have the activity books, we have novels, we have tons of stuff, as well as, of course, the game that all this is based on. So if you can come on by, stop on by and say hello, that would be terrific. If you want to pick up some stuff, play it in Grinder, play it in a demo, that would also be awesome.
He's just reminded me I have to buy like 6 more books.
It is the best time to do it right now.
Yeah.
We sell more of our whole entire Shrapnel sets at these conventions for just such a fantastic sale.
Yeah.
If you're a completionist and you want to fill out your collection, or to get the new beautiful leather-bound editions or the new hardcover editions
That is
of some
true.
of the classics that you love, this is the opportunity to do it.
I hope you brought a big enough suitcase.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
1 pair of underwear, 1 pair of jeans, and the rest
I have,
of it.
I have a gigantic suitcase.
Oh, good.
You FedEx home your dirty laundry.
Carry the books.
That's the way it works.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, true
Customs
fan.
is gonna love that one.
So I get to explain that one. You have an entire suitcase full of like novels. What did you do down there? I was just there visiting, I swear.
Industrial samples. They're industrial samples.
Very important.
Why do they all have signatures from authors? Don't
Because
worry.
they're
about it.
industrial samples.
They're industrial. That's the
Yeah.
line.
Yeah, that was very cultish, guys.
It's- Yes,
Well, since I'm going to have to be filling out 1 package to go to Canada, it's industrial samples yet again.
Yeah.
that's right.
Michael, what do you look forward to for AdeptiCon?
You know, I go to a lot of different conventions. I've heard wonderful things about AdeptiCon, so I'm looking to see what the local culture is for this show, because conventions all have their own local flavor, and so I think that'll be a lot of fun. Because I've done so many conventions in the center of the United States, I'm looking forward to seeing people I probably haven't seen for an unfortunate number of years. And then just the general convention experience of being able to sign books, being able to just chat with people, and it's writers work alone. We tend to work very shut off, so we get very little feedback. I mean, John as an editor is great at giving you positive as well as negative feedback, but when you think about it, when you get a manuscript that an editor has dealt with, it's usually fix this, fix this, fix this. So it's like a negative review on your project. And so, when we get to talk to readers, we get to find out from them what they liked, what they didn't like, what they're looking forward to. And those are all things where we go, okay, apparently I hit on this, I hit on this one, I need to shore this up, and this is a good idea that we might be able to play with, or they're looking forward to what I want to do anyway. They're getting it, and so it's a really good experience for us and then as a quick side, because I know you're going to go to Brian, but one of the things which is an experience that I get to have at conventions, which totally blows my mind, is when people come up and they say, "Oh, by the way, meet my son Victor." When they named a child after one of the characters that meant so much to them. I mean, what an incredible honor. And this is the chance for them to come and basically, give me the gift of saying, look, this impressed me so much. This is what I did. And that's it's something I never would have imagined. And it's really just so heartwarming.
Before I jump into Brian, I want to say something. Michael is a great person to work with at a con. He's terrific. And at other cons, it won't be necessary for this one because we have a different setup.
Right.
But at Gen Con, sometimes he ends up being our door person. And he's got his badge and he's handling crowd control. At least once per con, and I expect it to happen here, someone's going to come up and I'm going to point him out, and they're going to say, "Holy shit, that's Mike Stackpole." It happens every convention, and there's just floor that he's just out there on the floor, and I love seeing that. Or I a couple of seeing him. I got into battles like reading the Warrior trilogy.
Right.
My first book were Blood of Kerensky. It just me. I think as much joy as him. That because I know it tickles you that people are still reading his books and it still resonates with them so many times. I just love seeing that. It's just the fandom is truly unlike any other.
For Michael and for Michael Sierravella and for Brian Young, the goal for both of you, I think, is I hear about Michael Stackpole at events, and it's like whispered in hushed, odd tones, like Michael Stackpole is here. And it's like so
That's when you know you're right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and I just want to say that I mean I love doing these events, and I was really lucky in my early career that authors like Fred Saberhagen, Roger Zelazny, Manly Wade Wellman, Carl Edward Wagner, really nice guys, were very helpful to me and befriended me, and they also really set an example of how you act at conventions and how you deal with people. And they always remembered what the readers mean to us, as well as what we mean to the readers. And I'm happy to continue that tradition.
Good.
So.
Ryan.
I'm the newest kid on the Battletech side as far as writing, I feel like, especially going to these conventions, but I've been doing them for a couple of years now. Whether it's Gen Con, this will be my first AdeptiCon, but I'm really looking forward to just meeting fans and signing books and stuff. It's been amazing and really humbling and heartwarming to feel really embraced by the Battletech community, really overwhelmingly when I come out to these things. And just being available to talk and interact with folks and play some games and things. Like these are really great places for that, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Great, awesome. Well, I've only saved about 10 minutes because we had so much to say about Kerenskykon and AdeptiCon. And maybe if everyone is willing, we can go a couple minutes over because we do have questions, and I want to make sure that there's a little bit of time for that anyway.
Absolutely.
So
these three are here until I let them go. So and
I
you're on your own.
I can just get up and walk out the door right now. All right, guys.
Yeah.
There's questions that I've seen come up for you too. So.
Oh no. None of those are going to be good. I just want to point that out. They're all going to be like, why is the video not out yet? Why is it not out? You promised video before you leave, but no video comes.
What's this nonsense about Ewoks? I don't
understand. Yub-nub? Yub-nub what?
Awesome. All right. I hope I'm in the right place for the questions. Thanks, Dave.
It's got to be in Steiner's face.
Battletech stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Phoenix Risen asks, we've seen some of the new potential force packs and new minis, but it looks like some major factions are missing. Are there plans to release force packs for those as well?
That's a great question.
The editor says, give us
there is a list.
So here's what I can tell you confidently. Yes, there have been the next 3 years of force packs are pretty much practically set. And Randall, I don't care if he hasn't approved that, because it is because we talk about it. It's so what I can't speak to is what factions are coming up or when they're coming out. So
so they're talking about in that list they have specific faction force packs that are associated with them. It's just I would assume that those are just the ones that are coming out in that order. We don't know what comes out after that.
Right. I can't speak to names. I can't speak to order. I can't speak to what's coming up next.
But there is a list. It's got 3 years worth of this stuff there. So chances are sooner rather than later, the ones you want are going to be there.
Yes. Cool.
Unless you like House Lau, in which case forget it.
Yeah,
that's still a thing. Yeah.
The Capellan Confederation doesn't need its own force pack because it has celestial wisdom.
Well,
let's face it, urban lands have happened. Anything is possible.
Oh, yeah.
This is true. This is true.
Right. Any chance that the Presenter Marshall box will be reissued with or without the audio special? Do you know about that, Mike? John?
I would say I would like it to be, but I just don't know.
I don't think it is. I think this is one of those that was designed to be a Kickstarter
exclusive. That sounds right. So it's highly unlikely.
Yeah, we ordered more than we needed because there's always damages and stuff like that. But if we have leftover, they will. what I've heard Randall say is that they will go to conventions,
Mm.
or they will be posted on the Catalyst store and Leviathans.
Yeah, some copies, of course, have to be gifted to certain people, like Mr. Weissman. Definitely, I'm sure is going
Yeah.
to get a copy. I'm going to get my damn copy, that's for sure. But yes, yeah, it would be a con exclusive.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it'll be gone. I would be stunned if any of them even made it to the store. I really would be.
You know who created the title presenter, Marshall, don't you?
I assume it's you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So am I going to get one?
Maybe.
Believe me,
Sure. I'm sure you're going to work something out, Mike. Yes, that's where we created the title. And only that. No.
A question for me about Battletech Encounters. Is Catalyst aware that there are at least 2 reports that Battletech Encounters boxes are missing cards? Internet advice is to return to the store and validate that the new box isn't missing the cards. Is this the best advice? I can tell you that I know that the store at catalystgamelabs.com, we do have support where we can, like, if it's a massive issue, we want to fix it. But if it's here and there, we'll have our warehouse open boxes and pull out the cards needed and send them to you. So that's also a good place. Good place to go. Let's see. Sorry, I should be reading ahead.
We also, if we've got whoever's reporting that too, if they can let us know either in the chat which sets of cards may be missing right there,
Yeah.
because we want to take a look into that. That's the first time I personally,
Oh,
others may have known more. That's the first time I'm hearing
This is
about
the
it.
first
Like
time hearing about it, and we need
Yeah.
to coordinate this with our warehouse to find out exactly. They're probably going to be opening some boxes and checking. Is it
Absolutely.
hopefully just a one-off of a little run, or is it endemic for the
Yeah.
entire print run? Which I hope that's not the case.
Please no.
Yeah.
Shadowrun question for Michael Stackpole. Has there been any offer to get Wolfgang Keys and Raven back out there for a new Shadowrun story?
I just finished a brand new Shadowrun story.
Oh!
So, and John and I have been talking about some other Shadowrun stuff, and those characters are very near and dear to my heart, and I will happily take any opportunity I can to go play with them again.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's in discussion. We got to lock some things down on the Battletech side first.
Yep.
I would be just as excited as I think that fan or other fans to return Wolf and Raven back to the Shadowrun.
And kids stuff.
Yeah, of course, but it's a brand new world they're entering.
I know.
I mean, they're going to be the same, a little older, a little wiser, but
Okay.
I would
Yep.
really look forward to their unique take on this next world.
Yeah, and I'm
Yes.
looking
Yeah.
forward to that.
Absolutely.
Question for you, John. This has come up at least once in every previous episode of this, so I'm asking it now.
Okay.
Is there any chance we could get a separate zine like Shrapnel, maybe start with an annual even, to highlight fiction and articles from the other properties? Shadowrun, Levs, board games. Specifically, Levs is usually the ask.
Well, that's very interesting. So there's been behind the scenes discussion about Shadowrun. We'll tell you that. That's more than just a ephemeral thinking about it. Obviously, BattleTech, it'll be hard to replicate the success of BattleTech, and Shrapnel has been successful beyond our wildest dreams. I would love to replicate that for the other two. Absolutely. Bluntly, from a business perspective, the question is the fan base there? Shadowrun? Most likely, I think they can support it. Leviathans would be amazing. Absolutely. Is a question of, is the fan base going to be there to support such a endeavor? If enough people say they want it, we will certainly look into it. And at the very least, we could try either a 4-issue limited run and see if it builds and if there's enough people who come aboard. I've been having a lot of fun with the Shrapnel issues. I would love to bring that to other IPs. So it's on our mind, and we're certainly looking at ways. Is there a way to actually do it? Yeah.
Good. Awesome.
So, yeah.
Let's see here. I've got a question from Michael Ciravella.
Oh.
What was the biggest difference in writing for Empires Alone, a source book and campaign setting book, and your highest ranked novel on Goodreads, Pain and Blood?
Ooh, wow. That's a fascinating question. Writing source book work is very different than a novel. You've got facts, you've got background, you've got story, but it's put together in a different format entirely. Working on Empires Alone was a huge learning experience for me. My patience to Ray and Aaron and all of those who walked me through it, which is wonderful. But I really enjoyed being able to be part of the development of things on that different, more structured level. It's the same as being a novelist, but at that same point, very different. Being a novelist, and I'm sure everyone else here can relate for that purpose.
I can't.
It will not you. Well, the thought process there is you are creating anything from whole cloth. It feels like you get the facts, you get some of the points right there, but you get to create the world and bits and pieces that no one else could ever imagine. Right there. So it's very exciting, but it's a very different type of writing. I think both of them have a lot of their charms. I love reading the source books. I love reading the novels, but it's a very different way of understanding the universe.
Oh, good answer.
Great question.
Lord
Yeah.
Jangle asks, will the book deal that you mentioned for AdeptiCon be going on at other cons like UK Games Expo?
Okay, it's certainly going on for all domestic cons. As much as I would love to get over to UK Games Expo, shipping fiction is difficult. We don't quite have our European distribution. It's supposed to happen this year. Fingers crossed. So, fiction, it's an integral part of the game. It's hard to move across places because bluntly the ROI, the return on investment, where we're sending a $50 source book, a $60 game set, it makes it hard to get it over there. I would like that deal to happen. I actually should talk to Randall about that. If we do have fiction at the Game Expo, yes, the deal will be on. That's what I'm going to say.
Awesome.
Because I've been doing it all last year. The fans love it. I love it because I love less books to pack up at the end of the con. Everyone gets what they want. Everyone's happy. So yes, if there's going to be fiction there, that deal, I will say, should be in effect. I will try to make it happen.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you for the question.
For Brian Young, from Ed Hechtel, any chance you'll write a Leviathans novel?
I'd be delighted to. That's not up to me. That's a John question.
Just casting eyes towards John while answering it.
So, I mean, I've had many people express a lot of interest in the Leviathans universe. I would love to expand fiction. Right now, we are currently, I know, very focused on finishing up the Kickstarter goals, what's been promised there. With Bill writing, with Michael writing, it's very possible I should get enough short fiction available for another volume. Other than Armored Skies. So the possibility does exist, and certainly I'll be reaching out. I enjoy Brian's fiction very much, and if the right opportunity comes along, you could get a shot.
Cool.
Yeah.
A Question of Leviathans comes out next week.
Oh God.
I don't write that fast. I'll be here.
And it'll probably still turn in at the end of the course.
What do you mean halfway through? More like it.
Done.
For Michael Stackpole, this is from Shock and Awe, who's one of our moderators. No question, just wanted to say that Jedi is one of my favorite novels of all time, and I look forward to reading more of your Leviathans fiction.
Oh, thank you very much.
Crossing the street. No, kid. That's fantastic. Yes, I even let people bring up other books in Jedi or his own works to sign. I'm that nice.
Love the
That's
way
how
you
nice
put
I
that.
am. Yeah,
Let them do that.
I know, right?
I mean, it's like you could stop them.
This is
They will
absolutely
take you
true.
down.
This is absolutely true. Yes.
Big Red, what mech did you play in Randall's birthday game?
I had the honor of playing in a Warhammer. So that was
Ooh.
fantastic until my leg was blown off.
Oh.
I had fun even after my leg.
They go fast though.
Oh yeah, they pincered me. So like I'll actually go over the best part is like so the team had a plan to take down I believe it was the enemy battle master. And I'm like, all right, I'm down with the plan. And then like it was like a 3-turn plan. Well, it goes wrong on turn 1.
Of course.
Because like I'm the only one who starts the plan, and then everybody else focused down on like the Mad Cat and the Black Knight. I'm like, guys, the plan. And so like just a Warhammer versus an upgraded, like teched out advanced Battlemaster is just not a good day. And I had fun doing it. It was hilarious. I landed with tons of hits, and then my leg flew off. And
That's all she wrote.
That was the same thing happened over on the other flank where Ren and I were. The Op 4, they had their plan, and with the guy who was driving, I've forgotten his name, but the guy who was driving the Red Rifleman, because that's how we just referred to him, the Red Red.
Red
Red. He went with the plan. He came right at us with the flanking thing, and everybody else moved in the other direction. And all of a sudden, and Rem was right there, and the guy just sort of popped up and said, it's like having "kick me" scrawled on his,
Fun.
yeah.
Truly, Battletech games are the epitome of Moltke's no battle plan survives contact with us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It also shows us any agreement. Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, I agree in principle that we're going
Yeah.
to do this." In principle being the key term there.
Yes.
It's-
So we tried luring people over to our side and away from Randall because I get very competitive and therefore people like to shoot me. And so I'm like, bring it. And then they'd unload on me and be like, look at that damage, it's cute.
Yeah. Whereas, I mean, you and Brent were over there taking all the damage. Michael and I are just standing back going,
Off our flank.
right. Do I want to overheat this turn? Maybe a little. Oh, yeah.
Supernova, he literally goes 20 feet over and shuts down. And he's just like, It's like they're not going to shoot at me anyway. I'm like, that's bad. Of course they're going to shoot at you the next turn. They indeed have not shot it.
That's funny. It's proof that Vicious Mockery needs to be rewritten as like a draw fire. It's awesome.
Challenge accepted.
A question for Michael Ciaravella. Philip Polly asks, what's next for the Highlanders and Northwind? Rapprochement with the Capellans?
Ooh, very. I can say this was actually one of those beautiful things about Kerenskykon. This was a very. This is a conversation we just had the other day. There are some very interesting things coming in the future. I do love the Highlanders, but actually Brian Young and I were chatting with a few people. We've got some very interesting ideas. It's a little too soon to know whether they will actually come to fruition, but some really exciting ways of looking at the Highlanders moving into the Ill Clan era. So.
Okay, I mean, both of you, you particularly have to finish off other things on your plate for me before I can load you up with anything else.
Yeah.
Mom, I don't want to eat my broccoli.
This comes from the man. We have a weekly call every week, and the first question on the call all the time is, "What's the priority this week?" Because
fair.
sometimes we do jump from novel to novel.
It was either where's my book or what's my priority this week. It waffled back and forth, very much so.
Awesome.
So you now have the current.
It's-
You're all done. We're nearly done.
We're beating up on it now. Right now, it's in the evenings. Yeah.
So there was a lot of that going back and forth between all of us, in terms of what are we doing next, or Brian will make a comment and I'll go, oh wait, that goes here. Okay,
Yes.
got this figured out now. So
There are a lot of moving parts. Yeah.
Neat. For Michael Stackpole, Prussian Havoc asks, do you have any Leviathans fiction in the works? Maybe something centered on the opening of the Panama Canal and plans within plans to sabotage it.
that's a great idea. I did
It is actually.
the Leviathan story that I did is a non-Leviathan story. It's a story dealing with the everyday person's sort of opinion of Leviathans and how it's changing. Their presence is changing the world. And I got to indulge in a second love, which is dealing with a lot of old pulp fiction and characters from back in that era and age. And because I live in Arizona, the story was set there.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been dealing with more Americans, but the Panama Canal and what America did, dabbling with that, and the characters were set up that would be perfect to do. Come to think of it,
We may have to discuss that.
yeah.
His is really the end of one era, beginning of another, and these
Yeah.
people are kind of caught on the cusp of that.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get it out there. It's been edited, and I need to send it to you for final review.
Sure.
And coming shortly, and we got to get a cover worked up too. So
Yeah.
it's almost there. Yeah.
For John, Prussian Havoc asks, when editing Leviathan's Armored Skies, which aspects of Leviathan's continuity proved the most interesting or difficult to set in place?
Okay, most of it, because here's the funny part. Armored Skies was based off of the first iteration of Leviathans. And that was really before Randall and Bryn did such a magnificent job of taking it, reinventing it, and making it better. So, the writers we approached, S.M. Sterling, Bill Keith, Stephen Mohan, had a really, I'm sorry,
Harry Turtle.
Turtle, yes, how can I forget Harry? They had the box sets they knew, and it was the Airman's Guide, which was 30 pages worth. So they had the bare bones of it that they could flesh out. There were challenges in terms of where ships would be, in terms of like geography, and would this actually happen here? Could a Leviathan get from here to there doing this kind of thing in the Pacific Ocean? Which, of course, refueling stations are few and far between.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of balancing, telling a great story with the realities of the universe. And it was a unique challenge, but all of our authors rose to that challenge magnificently. Absolutely. But yeah, there was some back and forth between all of them about making sure the details were right. Yeah. So
Well, for the last question, I'm going to bring it on back to Adepticon. Will sales start Wednesday like the last 2 years? Can you be more specific than yes or no?
definitely, it's become our tradition too. If you are there and you have money and you want things, we'll be happy to take your money and give you things. Yes.
I know over the past couple days, people were like, if we have to open up a box to
Oh,
pull
yeah.
something out, we will.
Yes. It's they were mobbed the first year, and we kept up the tradition ever since, and it's going to be the same way. As soon as that register is up, we're open for business.
That's awesome.
So there's something I don't know. The thing is, I can't tell you like what's the kind of specials or this, that, and the other. I would just suggest you get there early. It includes get there on Wednesday afternoon, for real.
We also want to make sure that everyone knows, with all of the shipping challenges in the world right now and things coming from China and various items, we know what we'd like to be there. And as is our tradition and most game companies' tradition, we're trying to fly in items. We're trying to move in last minute items. We do have some fun items that have already come. There were some things we were expecting that have not arrived yet. We want everyone to have the opportunity to get them when they come in, but always temper your own expectations right there. We don't want anyone ever disappointed. We want, but if an item is not there, we do apologize.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, honestly, one of the key things that I kind of check back every morning,
Yeah.
because we don't know sometimes what's coming in from day to day.
Very true.
So you could get lucky, absolutely. But yes, Wednesday sales will absolutely be a thing.
Well, and since we're talking about sales and items and fun stuff that we're waiting to show up, why don't you talk about the art?
Yes, I'd be happy to, and I know it's en route, I believe. So one of the things that the Kerenskys got to experience before everyone else, we are producing absolutely stunning art prints of classic Battletech covers from TROs, from Error Reports, the original box set image that's been redesigned. They are unreal. 300 DPI print, archival grade paper. They're selling for a premium. I'm gonna say we're going to have them at Adepticon. We're premiering them to the public at Adepticon. The Kerenskys got to buy in early, and boy did they. There are 8 different prints, and they're going to be $150 a piece. I don't know if we're doing the deal. That's a Randall thing. So, but once you see them, you will know why they are that price. And in my mind, they're worth every penny.
We got to chance to see them while we were signing, and they are drop dead gorgeous and
Yeah.
huge, suitable for framing.
Absolutely suitable for
obviously.
framing in your game world, your
Yeah.
game room, in your basement, your band cave, whatever.
I was very
It will be the focal point of
Yeah.
your game room. I guarantee it. They're unreal.
Because it came up so much in the Kickstarter, we brought tubes, so you'll be able to roll the poster.
Yes, they are not folded. They're coming flat. We have brought tubes for shipping or carrying back home.
And
Yes.
just to emphasize what John said, it is archival paper. I mean,
Mhm.
these are substantial. This is not poster paper.
We would prefer you
I mean,
don't just
this is-
tack up some
Right,
holes and tack it to your wall like your college dorm. No, we prefer that you actually get it framed because you want it framed.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
want it under
absolutely.
glass to
Yeah,
preserve it.
yeah,
They're that
yeah.
good. So yeah,
Awesome.
thank you for letting us make that announcement. That's terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to say before we say goodbye today?
Come to Schaumburg, play some games, have some fun.
Yeah.
Come to
We're
Adepticon.
here for you guys. So
Yeah.
come on in.
Get some books signed. Meet some authors. Meet some designers. It's a great time.
Come meet some incredible people who have some amazing creativity in the work that they're all doing.
Awesome.
I think that just said it all.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for our technical difficulties and sorting through those. Thank you guys for being here with me and talking through all this. It's great to share the love of Kerensky-Kon, AdeptiCon, and the worlds we all love. So we will see you next week here on
Tuesday Newsday. But until the next time, see ya.
Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.